As I settle in to share these relatable tales from the internet's most honest confessional, I'm reminded that even in the anonymity of online forums, our struggles and triumphs are surprisingly universal. Tonight, I'll be diving into the real-life stories shared on the subreddit Relationship Advice, where strangers have bravely bared their hearts for all to see. My Sil F31 disinvited my wife F28 from her baby shower after a joke, but my brother M35 still wants me M30 to go. I am stuck in the middle. I'm M30, recently married the love of my life, F28. And I'm super close with my brother, M35. We always imagined our families being close down till one single lunch ruined everything. So, my wife and I went out to eat with my brother and my Sil F31, who is pregnant and about to give birth to my first nephew. Needless to say, we are all very excited. Mid-meal, my brother, probably feeling sentimental, goes, "Man, I hope the baby turns out like me." He was such a cute kid. Now, a bit about my Sil. She's usually nice, and I like her, but she's definitely type A, and a bit high maintenance. Without missing a beat, she shuts my brother down. "No, I'd much rather he turns out like you." A bit of an awkward comment, and my brother probably thought so as well, so he goes, "No, seriously, we'd be lucky if the kid was like me. He was such a nice and cute kid." And then, Sil doubles down. "No, but you're so much more handsome," before turning to look directly at me and adding, "No offense." Now, look, I wasn't deeply offended. Me brother is a very good-looking guy, so I get it. But who just says that out loud? My wife, who had been quiet up to this point, clearly found it rude. So she jokingly goes, "Well, as long as the baby doesn't look like Sil, we should be fine." I chuckled. My brother laughed. Sil did not laugh. She immediately got pissed, glared at my wife, and went, "What the hell does that mean? That's extremely rude. We're not close enough for jokes like that." My wife was taken aback, and so was I. My brother tried to say something, but she stormed out. My brother followed her, looking about as confused as I felt. Fast forward to Todisil has officially disinvited my wife from the baby shower celebration. My wife says she doesn't even want to go, which fair enough. My brother is devastated and really wants me to be there. Now, here's the thing: me brother adores me. Has always been my biggest supporter, and he wants me to be a big part of my nephew's life. He's having his first child, and this moment is really important to him. I love my brother too, and can't see him sad like that. He says both my wife and Sil need to apologize eventually, but we shouldn't force it right now and give them some time to cool off. He also thinks Sil owes me an apology for what she said, but again, pregnancy hormones or whatever, so he doesn't want to push it yet. My parents actually side with my wife and think Sil was out of line first. But they also believe I shouldn't miss such a huge moment in my brother's life, and that we should cut Sil some slack because of her pregnancy. Here is my issue. I don't feel right going if my wife isn't welcome. I want to support her, but I also know this moment means the world to my brother. If I go, my wife might feel abandoned. If I don't, my brother will be heartbroken. I feel completely stuck. Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. You stay home with your wife. Send a gift. Your brother has to deal with his wife. This is the right answer. This is the only answer. Besides, it's a baby shower, the purpose of which is for people to bring gifts. OP can give a gift without attending. Pregnancy hormones are a real thing. Definitely don't force anything until the sister-in-law is ready. You should definitely sit this one out with your wife. Your wife is your nuclear family now, and as much as you love your brother, him and his wife come second in your list of priorities now. What does your wife think? Does she want you to go? Me personally, I would ask my husband to go, because I wouldn't want to rob him of that opportunity with his own brother, especially if I didn't even care to attend said baby shower to begin with. It wouldn't hurt me in the slightest. I'd be home drinking wine, waiting for the gossip when he is back. But that's me, and she is her, so I think you should ask her honestly what she thinks and feels about you, going and honor whatever she says, because, well, that's your person now. Here's the response from OP. Knowing my wife, she will definitely say that I should go. But I also feel that deep down she will feel that I didn't stuck up for her while she did stuck up for me. And now for the next story. Grandma 85 female wants to move in with my parents 60 male. Should she just pay them rent to compensate for the effort? Gets a little tricky with inheritance and other family members. My grandma has 4 kids. 3 of them are kind of useless and don't really do much for her. The 4th is my dad, who is constantly helping her. In my grandma's eyes, though, all the kids are equal. My grandma wants to move into my parents' home. She'll sell her home and then move in. I'm pretty sure if I don't say anything, my dad isn't going to charge her any money. The thing is, right now in her will, she splits all her things among all 4 kids evenly. So as it stands, if my parents take her in for years and years, when my grandma passes, my parents will get as much money as the other siblings who don't do anything. I think what makes the most sense is to have my grandma pay my parents rent money each month. More than what just covers her share of expenses, basically to compensate for all the effort they'll have to put in to take care of her. Does that make sense? Is there a different way to handle the arrangement? Money up front or anything? They just need to tread carefully to not upset all the siblings, because I know things get ugly when money is involved. Any advice? I know this is a borderline financial question, but I think really, it comes down to managing the relationship between the siblings. And now for the next story. My 25 female boyfriend, 25 male, got offered to go to the Super Bowl. I am 39 weeks pregnant. My boyfriend's friend offered him a ticket-free trip to the Super Bowl this Sunday. The problem is that the game is 2 days before my due date. He asked me if he can go, and I said he should just do what he wants to do. I understand this is a once-in-a-lifetime game to see, but I think the birth of your first child is maybe more once in a lifetime. I just want to know how other people feel about this situation. How would you feel as me, and what would you want to do if you were the man in this situation? I took a lot of people's advice and told him that it had hurt my feelings that he even asked me instead of saying no on his own. And that I want him here, but not because I say he can't go, because he wants to be. He then said that he just wanted to know how I'd feel about it. And he was never actually going to go, and his friend told him to ask me. I said I don't see why you would ask me for permission if you weren't going to go regardless. And he called a psycho for not understanding that he asked to just see my answer. Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. He wants you to absolve him of any consequences of his choices. Yeah. By agreeing to this, he's hearing that he won't get any guilt if you go into labor while he's gone. Even if you are upset. Or if you and your baby literally die. Probably not a great thing to say to someone who's days away from childbirth. But why? My baby died from a birth injury. These things happen. Hopefully, they won't. But they can. Not as a place of fear, but reality. Yes. And I'm sure OP is aware of that. You don't need to bring up every fearful or anxious thought just because it's reality. Do you also warn everyone every time you get in the car that you all might crash and die? That's just reality. I roll. I'm not sure if that was the point of their statement. Sure, probably knows it's a possibility, but we're discussing it in relation to her partner's request to potentially abandon them during a time when something could go very wrong. If O knows it, if sure doesn't sound like her partner does. I know it wasn't the point. No. My point was that it's an insensitive thing to say, or at least an insensitive way to say it. People tend to be more blunt online than they would face to face. But that isn't something you'd ever say to an expecting mother, days away from childbirth. You're not wrong, but the fact that the BF is risking missing the birth of his child for a yearly event, I think is pretty clear indicator that he's oblivious to the fact, or he might not really care. I'm so sorry that happened to you. And now for the next story. My friend, F19, still loves her ex, M19, and he does as well. But she won't make the first move. Can I help them get back together? My friend, F19, is still really in love with her ex, M19, and he is still really in love with her too. They both have never been with anyone else, and broke up for a stupid reason. He is pretty shy, but she still feels like it's his responsibility to come back to her if he has the balls to do it. Every day she constantly talks about how she misses him, and still loves him, but refuses to contact him first. Would it be wrong for me to message him and just say, bro, go get your girl, she still really loves you? And do not under any circumstances tell her someone told you this. Yes, it's clearly lying, but I feel like they could have such a great romance together, and their story is not over. And now for the next story. I am 26. I'm struggling to live with myself after breakup with my ex. F23. Any advice? We broke up after she found out I had paid for porn during our relationship. 3 months. For the record, I think she is completely justified and correct in her decision to dump me. I've struggled with porn since I was 15 or so. But I'd hidden it well from everyone. Family, friends, previous exes. She was the first person to ever find out about it. Her ex before me was an abusive piece of shit who hurt her, and was also a porn addict, so she had a lot of trauma from that. I lied to her, but I truly believed at the start I could just kick it because I loved her so much. I was so dumb, and I caused her so much pain, and I've regretted it every day. It hurts all the time. I wanted to look after her, and make her happy, and take care of her and protect her. When we started dating, I swore to myself I'd never buy anything again. We were so happy together, and we had perfect chemistry. I've never known such warmth and happiness in life. One night, I relapsed. A week or so later, I'm on my phone in front of her, and I was going through a bank statement that had the porn site's name in the description. Later that night, she went through my phone and found what I'd bought. She called me crying the next day, and told me what she'd found, and my heart just disintegrated. She dumped me, and said she just couldn't trust me, and that it hurt too much. I could hear the pain in her voice, and it has genuinely haunted me every single day since. It's been 4 months now. I think she may have been the love of my life. I still cannot believe how perfect we were together, and every day without her hurts. I work out. I'll have a good job. Go on other dates. Take care of myself. See friends. But it's still there. I've worked on the addiction, haven't bought anything since we broke up, and I'm even 10 weeks clean of all porn, and I feel fantastic. But it all just feels hollow without her. I still find the pain of it all too much. We parted and sent some messages, and she was really kind and said she genuinely hoped for the best for me and my recovery. I told her about my regret and how I've been changing, and how seriously I've taken this to heart. But, yeah, I honestly think about killing myself, because I worry that all other relationships will pale in comparison to her, and that brief window of time was the happiest and most loved I'll ever feel. I do suffer from depression, but I'm medicated, and I look after myself. So I'm really worried that this may have just been the moment where I cost myself a happy life. Like and subscribe for more awesome daily Reddit content. And don't forget to hit the bell to get notified when I upload new videos.